Personally, I was really looking forward to this game, and of course, hopefully it gets fixed so I can actually play it, because I did enjoy the first one. Actual good Star Wars games that, for some reason, has been a criminally underutilized franchise, considering how big it is and how many opportunities there would be to make great games from the Star Wars IP. Respawn Entertainment came in and made a good game, and I was hoping that the second game was just going to be more of the same, but, you know, better. Unfortunately, it seems that the game is completely unacceptable in terms of the performance, and this isn't even something that is exclusive to PC, because we do all know if a game comes out on consoles and then comes out on PC as well, sometimes you just expect a bad port. We shouldn't, because of course as consumers we should demand more, especially for the box price of this shit. £60. Freedom units, that's $70 US. And if you get the deluxe edition, which unfortunately the deluxe edition doesn't include some fucking frame rate, that would be $90 US. Now, I'm not going to have the argument of whether or not games should be this much money. I don't buy games at full price anymore. I have such a backlog of games and all the stuff I can be doing that I don't care to do it. And obviously, if a game releases and it's good, it'll still be good in 6 months' time and I can get it for half price. And they'll have probably ironed out some of the issues that we see with more and more AAA games. But I would expect if you're going to up the price of a product, for you to deliver the product in an adequate manner, especially considering you have a massive, massive history of delivering games. So when you come out and deliver something that just doesn't fucking work properly, that is unacceptable. But we're going to run through some of the details here. So as you can see, 46% user review score, and honestly, some of the user reviews, some of the positives are a fucking stretch, to say the best. Some people are like, oh, it doesn't run well, but I'll leave a positive review anyway because I think the game's going to be good. What are you reviewing then? I don't get why you'd even leave a review, but why would you positively pad what is objectively a bad experience? And then a lot of other comments you see, people are like, oh, my performance is fine. And then they'll say, yeah, I get between 30 and 45 FPS consistently, playing on 1080p on a moderately decent system. It's like, are we just redefining what running well means to just accept the fucking slop that's being served to us by some of these AAA companies? And like I say, I did play the first game. I finished it. 15.5 hours, not a very long game. Didn't go back and run through anything. Don't know why I don't have any achievements. Pretty weird. But I did enjoy it, so I was looking forward to the second one. And I obviously come to expect more from Respawn because they've delivered good games and they've delivered beloved games. And I don't know who's to blame here. I know it'd be really easy to blame EA. And let's be honest, there's enough ammunition out in the world to blame EA about literally everything. Because at the end of the day, EA owns Respawn, so if a game comes out, it's going to be the owner's fault. That's who I'm always going to blame. But what they posted is just so laughably dumb. It's unreal. I read this and I just couldn't understand who the fuck okayed this message. So EA Star Wars posted, we are aware that Star Wars Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a percentage of our PC players, in particular those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations. It's not performing to anybody's standard on any configuration. The people who are accepting low frame rates on decently high-end systems are mostly people who just play games and they don't really pay attention to shit like that. A lot of the comments that I saw weren't even running FPS counters, and they're like, oh yeah, it's fine. That's probably not the case. And reviewers were apparently told beforehand that, you know, the optimization issues will be fixed with a day one patch. Which begs the question, why are you allowing people to review a game that you know is faulty, that doesn't work? And then why are these reviewers coming out and posting high scores for a game? This is PC reviews, by the way, that they know has bad optimization. It's just misleading. It's completely misleading. I don't know who these reviews are supposed to serve, but it's definitely not serving the consumer in any fucking way. As a statement as well, saying it's not performing to our standards, where were your standards when you okayed the release of the game then? Where were those same standards? If at any time you have to issue a mea culpa and say, yeah, this is our fault, one, you shouldn't be discounting who's affected and saying, oh, it's just a percentage, because this is a large percentage. And two, you shouldn't be talking about your fucking standards, because as we can see, there is no standards if this is what you think was adequate to release. Now, also pointing out that this is with high-end machines or specific configurations, it doesn't even run well on consoles. At that point, anything you say about this is purely a placation, and I would even go as far to say as a lie. Because they even say, for example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10, or high-end GPUs coupled with lower-performing CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, We are working to address these cases quickly. It's the majority of people. And this is consistent across hardware. It's even consistent across platforms. At that point, if everyone else is the problem, you're the problem. You know, if everywhere you go it smells like shit, you better be looking at your shoes. While there is no single comprehensive solution for PC performance, delaying the game and making sure it runs well on all systems you're releasing. I know this is a crazy concept, but if you're going to charge money for a product where there is an expectation that that product will work in an adequate manner, then the consumer should be able to expect that the product is actually tested properly and works as it releases. But these AAA companies, man, they treat game releases as if they're releasing into early access without the price cut, without the label, without an increased refund policy, and then just expect you to wait while they fix something that you already paid for. I think what gamers do typically, and this is not just gamers, it's everybody, they get a product from a company and they think, that's good, I like that, and they've not let me down so far, so I'll buy their next product. Even though there's no reason to pre-order or day one purchase before you've seen reviews and things like that. And I don't mean reviews from game critics and journalistic publications, because as we've seen over time, they're not exactly always in line with what the users see when they're playing the game. But I mean actual user reviews. But then what ends up happening is that trust, that cachet that they built up of trust, is used to fuck you, because then this is what you get. Because like I say, I would have expected Respawn to release a game that worked and was good, because I played the previous game and it worked and it was good. But instead, this is what we get. And then they post on social media something that is just completely tone deaf and addresses nothing. Thanks for understanding, and apologies to any of our players experiencing these issues. We will continue to monitor performance across all platforms and share update timing as soon as it's available. As you can see here, HDR in PS5 Fix 2 replies, we are aware of an issue affecting HDR on PS5 and are investigating it. In the meantime, we recommend you turn HDR off for better visual experience. So just don't use features. And by the way, a PS5 is a PS5 is a PS5. There is no excuse for launching a game on a PS5 and having issues with the technology of a PS5. You can always make excuses for fringe cases of like a small percentage of people with a specific hardware combination that you just didn't run into on a PC. Software can play a factor. No two computers are the same in any way. So you can always say like, oh, a few percentage of people who have specific system configurations having issues is a reasonable margin for error. What you absolutely cannot do is release a game that works not good on any fucking platform or any system, and then say, oh, there's performance issues for some people on some configurations. It's every configuration. It's the game at that point. They posted as well, PC players, please ensure that all of your drivers are fully up to date. And it does suck because the people that have played it and can stomach the performance issues, or the ones that have performance issues and then don't think that they're having performance issues, are saying that the game's really good. And I just hate that this is a thing. I hate that this is continuing to go on, and especially from the biggest companies. Because where's the accountability? Nothing's going to happen over this, because people will just fucking blindly buy the next game because they always do. But you have a team of like hundreds of people make a game that is good, and in 1 month or 2 months' time or whatever it's going to be would be a product probably really worth the money. But instead it gets rushed out and released based on probably, I'm going to assume, more than likely publisher obligations. Because I can't imagine that people that are in charge of this game, the people who are actually on the ground putting the work in, looked at what was going on with this and said, yeah, that's definitely ready, we should be shipping this game right now. I just can't imagine. And if they are, that person, I don't advocate for this very often, that person should probably not be employed launching games. Because there is no excuse for this. There is literally no excuse. Unless the excuse is, our overlords at EA made us release this game. In which case, I would feel bad for Respawn for that being the case. Like, it makes me laugh, the positive review. First area ran horribly, especially for an RTX 3070. Gameplay goes hard though, pick it up on sale or when the performance improves. Positive review. The game runs bad. Positive review. Our EA man came in my room while I was playing, punched me in the face and then spit in my mouth. Good game though, positive experience, loved it. I just don't know at this point what a company would have to do for consumers to just be like, yeah, it's unacceptable, isn't it? But yeah, there we go. It's just another day in fucking AAA gaming. This is why I mostly, again, just wait for sales on games that I'm looking forward to playing, or just play indie games. Because while you do obviously get indie games released with bad performance sometimes, that's at least acceptable. It's priced in to the fact that it's an indie game. You have lower expectations because, again, the price and the fact it's an indie game. And honestly, I've had way less performance issues with indie games than I have AAA games over the years. I personally have no problem with companies upping the price of games to account for inflation, so long as the quality of the game is worthwhile and what you would expect from that new price tag. This clearly isn't on no platform, but hopefully it gets fixed for the people that still aren't going to refund the game, and hopefully I do get to play the game pretty soon and see if it's any good. But there we go. Absolutely fuck everything about EA at this point. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out.